Welcome, seekers of truth and transformation. Today, we explore a profound concept that has the power to revolutionize your life: the world as your mirror. This idea, championed by the great mystic Neville Goddard, suggests that everything we experience in our external reality is a reflection of our inner state. By understanding and applying this principle, we can shift from being reactive victims of circumstance to conscious creators of our reality. Let's begin by examining the foundation of this concept. The world as a mirror isn't just a poetic metaphor, it's a fundamental truth about the nature of consciousness and reality. Everything you perceive, every person you encounter, every situation you find yourself in is a reflection of your inner world. Your beliefs, thoughts, emotions, and expectations shape the lens through which you view and experience life. This mirror-like quality of reality operates on multiple levels. On the surface, it manifests in how we interpret events and interact with others. If you believe the world is a hostile place, you'll find evidence to support that belief everywhere you look. You'll interpret neutral actions as aggressive, you'll be quick to take offense, and you'll attract confrontational situations. Conversely, if you believe the world is filled with kindness and opportunity, that's what you'll experience. You'll notice acts of generosity, you'll interpret ambiguous situations positively, and you'll attract supportive people and favorable circumstances. But the mirroring goes deeper than mere interpretation. At a quantum level, our consciousness interacts with the field of potential, collapsing wave functions into particles, literally creating our experienced reality moment by moment. Our inner state resonates with and attracts corresponding external experiences. This understanding places an enormous responsibility on us. If the world is truly our mirror, then the key to changing our experience lies not in trying to manipulate external circumstances, but in transforming our inner landscape. This is what Neville Goddard meant when he urged us to change ourselves, not the reflection. Think about it. When you look in a physical mirror and don't like what you see, do you try to change the reflection? Of course not. You understand that to change the reflection, you must change yourself. The same principle applies to the mirror of life. This realization can be both liberating and challenging. It's liberating because it puts the power back in our hands. We're not helpless victims of circumstance, but co-creators of our reality. It's challenging because it requires us to take full responsibility for our experiences, both positive and negative. As we internalize this truth, we naturally begin to shift our focus inward. Instead of blaming others or external circumstances for our problems, we look within to identify the beliefs, thoughts, and emotions that are creating those experiences. This inward focus is the first step towards genuine transformation. But how do we actually implement this understanding in our daily lives? How do we shift from unconsciously creating our reality to consciously shaping it? This is where the practical application of Goddard's teachings comes in. The first step is awareness. Start paying close attention to your inner dialogue, your habitual thoughts, and your emotional reactions. Notice how these inner states correlate with your external experiences. This observation alone can be revelatory, showing you the direct link between your inner world and your outer reality. Next, practice taking responsibility for your experiences. When you encounter a challenging situation or person, instead of reacting with blame or frustration, pause and ask yourself, what part of me is this reflecting? What belief or expectation within me has attracted or created this experience? This shift from blame to responsibility is crucial. It moves you from a position of powerlessness to one of empowerment. Even if you can't immediately see how you've created a particular situation, adopting this mindset opens the door to profound insights and transformative change. As we continue our exploration, we'll delve deeper into the practical techniques for changing our inner state and, consequently, our outer reality. We'll examine the power of imagination, the role of feeling in manifestation, and the importance of living from the end result. Remember, the world as mirror concept isn't about blaming yourself for negative experiences. It's about recognizing your innate power to shape your reality. It's an invitation to become the conscious author of your life story. The alchemy of imagination, forging your reality through conscious creation. As we delve deeper into the concept of the world as our mirror, we uncover a powerful tool for transformation: our imagination. Neville Goddard taught that imagination is not mere fantasy, but the very substance of reality. When we understand and harness the power of our imagination, we gain the ability to reshape our inner world and, consequently, our outer experiences. Imagination, in this context, is not about daydreaming or escapism. It's a focused, intentional use of our mind's eye to create vivid, sensory-rich experiences of our desired reality. When we engage our imagination in this way, we're not just visualizing, we're actually experiencing our desired state at a neurological and energetic level. This process is akin to programming our subconscious mind. Our subconscious doesn't distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. By repeatedly immersing ourselves in the feeling of our desired reality through imagination, we're training our subconscious to accept this new state as our truth. And as our subconscious beliefs shift, our outer world begins to reflect these changes. But how do we effectively use our imagination to create change? The key lies in the feeling. It's not enough to merely visualize what we want. We must feel it as if it's already our reality. This involves engaging all our senses in our imaginal act. If you're imagining financial abundance, feel the sense of security and freedom it brings. If it's a loving relationship you desire, feel the warmth and connection in your heart. This practice requires discipline and persistence. Our habitual thoughts and beliefs have deep roots, and changing them takes consistent effort. Set aside time each day for your imaginal work. Create a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, relax your body, and allow yourself to sink into the feeling of your desired reality. As you engage in this practice, you may encounter resistance. Old beliefs and fears may surface, challenging your new vision. This is a natural part of the process. Acknowledge these thoughts without judgment, then gently return to your imaginal scene. Remember, you're not fighting against your current reality. You're simply choosing to focus on and feel your desired state. One powerful technique Goddard taught is living from the end. This involves imagining and feeling your desired outcome as if it's already accomplished, and then living your daily life from that state of consciousness. If your goal is a successful career, imagine yourself already in that position. How would you carry yourself? How would you interact with others? Embody that state in your daily life, even as you take practical steps towards your goal. This approach aligns your actions and energy with your desired outcome. You're no longer striving for something in the future, you're embodying it now. This shift in consciousness is often the catalyst for synchronicities and opportunities that accelerate your journey towards your goal. It's crucial to understand that this isn't about denying your current circumstances. It's about choosing where to place your attention and energy. You can acknowledge your present reality while simultaneously holding the feeling of your desired state. This balance allows you to take inspired action from a place of empowerment rather than lack or desperation. As you practice this conscious use of imagination, you'll likely notice changes in your perception before you see tangible changes in your external circumstances. You might find yourself more attuned to opportunities, more appreciative of what you have, or more confident in your abilities. These shifts in perception are the first signs that your inner mirror is changing, and your outer reality will soon follow suit. But what about when things don't seem to be changing, or when challenges arise? This is where faith and persistence come into play. Remember, you're working with the laws of mind and consciousness. Just as a seed needs time to germinate and grow, your imaginal acts need time to manifest in the physical world. During this gestation period, it's essential to maintain your faith and continue your practice. Don't be tempted to dig up the seed to see if it's growing. Trust in the process, even when external evidence seems lacking. Your persistent faith is the fertile soil in which your imaginal seeds will flourish. This approach to reality creation requires a fundamental shift in how we view causality. Instead of seeing external conditions as the cause of our experiences, we recognize our consciousness as the primary creative force. This shift empowers us to take full responsibility for our life experiences. Are you willing to wield your imagination with such intentionality? Can you commit to persistently feeling your desired reality, even when your senses tell you otherwise? This is the challenge and the opportunity that Goddard's teachings present to us. The symphony of consciousness, harmonizing self and other in the mirror of reality. As we deepen our understanding of the world as our mirror, we encounter a profound paradox. While we are the creators of our individual realities, we are also inextricably connected to the collective consciousness. This interconnectedness adds layers of complexity and beauty to our practice of conscious creation. When we truly grasp that the world is our mirror, we begin to see every person in our lives as a reflection of some aspect of ourselves. This doesn't mean that others aren't real or don't have their own autonomous existence. Rather, it suggests that our perception and experience of others are colored by our own consciousness. This understanding transforms our relationships. Instead of seeing others as separate entities to be manipulated, controlled, or blamed, we recognize them as mirrors reflecting our own beliefs, expectations, and states of consciousness. When we encounter conflict or difficulty in a relationship, we can ask ourselves, what part of me is this person or situation reflecting? What belief or expectation within me is creating this experience? This shift in perspective is profoundly liberating. It moves us from a stance of victimhood or blame to one of empowerment and responsibility. If someone consistently treats us with disrespect, instead of trying to change their behavior directly, we look within to see where we might be holding beliefs of unworthiness or expectations of mistreatment. As we change these inner patterns, we often find that our external relationships naturally transform. But this mirroring goes beyond our immediate personal relationships. It extends to our experience of society, world events, and even the physical environment. The state of the world we perceive is a reflection of our collective consciousness, filtered through our individual lens. This understanding carries immense implications for how we approach global issues and social change. It suggests that the most effective way to create positive change in the world is to first transform our own consciousness. As we elevate our own thoughts, beliefs, and vibrations, we contribute to the elevation of the collective consciousness. However, this doesn't mean we should become passive observers of the world's problems. On the contrary, it calls us to inspired action. When we see injustice or suffering in the world, we can use it as a catalyst for inner transformation. We can ask ourselves, how am I contributing to this reality? What shift in my consciousness could contribute to healing this situation? As we engage in this inner work, we often find ourselves naturally drawn to take outer actions that align with our elevated consciousness. These actions, arising from a place of unity and love rather than fear or anger, tend to be more effective and sustainable. This approach to social change requires great courage and commitment. It's often easier to point fingers and demand that others change than to look honestly at ourselves and do the inner work. But as more of us embrace this responsibility, we create a powerful ripple effect that can transform our collective reality. The practice of seeing the world as our mirror also invites us to approach diversity with greater openness and curiosity. Instead of judging or fearing those who are different from us, we can see them as reflections of aspects of ourselves that we may have denied or not yet integrated. This perspective fosters empathy, understanding, and a recognition of our fundamental unity amidst diversity. As we navigate this interconnected mirror of reality, we must also grapple with the question of free will and individual responsibility. If everything is a reflection of our consciousness, does that mean we're responsible for everything that happens to us? This is a nuanced issue that requires careful consideration. While we are creators of our reality, we're also part of a larger collective creation. Our individual consciousness interacts with the consciousness of others and the collective in complex ways. We may not always be consciously choosing every experience, but we are always choosing our response to what we experience. This understanding calls us to a balanced approach of taking responsibility for our reality while also practicing compassion and non-judgment towards ourselves and others. We recognize that everyone is on their own journey of awakening, dealing with their own conditioned patterns and unconscious beliefs. As we practice seeing the world as our mirror, we naturally develop greater compassion. We begin to see that even those who cause harm are acting from their own pain and limited understanding. This doesn't mean we condone harmful actions, but it allows us to respond from a place of wisdom and love rather than reactivity. This compassionate perspective extends to ourselves as well. As we uncover aspects of ourselves reflected in the mirror of the world that we don't like, we learn to approach these discoveries with kindness and curiosity rather than judgment. We recognize that every aspect of ourselves, even the parts we've labeled as negative, has something to teach us and contribute to our growth. In this light, the practice of conscious creation becomes not just about manifesting our desires, but about evolving our consciousness. As we work with the mirror of reality, we gradually expand our capacity to hold and integrate more aspects of ourselves and the world. We move towards a more holistic, unified state of being. Are you ready to see every person, every situation, every challenge as a reflection inviting you to grow? Can you embrace the responsibility and opportunity inherent in this understanding? As we continue our exploration, we'll look at practical ways to integrate this mirroring principle into your daily life, transforming your experience from the inside out. The cosmic dance, embodying the mirror in everyday life. As we conclude our exploration of the world as our mirror, we arrive at the crucial question: how do we embody this profound understanding in our daily lives? The key lies in cultivating a state of constant awareness and conscious choice. Begin each day by setting your intention to see the world as your mirror. As you move through your day, practice observing your reactions to people and situations. When you feel triggered or upset, Pause and ask yourself, what part of me is this reflecting? This simple practice can transform moments of conflict into opportunities for self-discovery and growth. Develop a regular practice of inner work. This might include meditation, journaling, or conscious imagination. Use these practices to explore and transform the beliefs and expectations that are shaping your reality. Remember, changing your inner world is the most effective way to change your outer experiences. Practice radical responsibility. Instead of blaming others or circumstances for your experiences, ask yourself, how am I creating this? This doesn't mean blaming yourself, but rather empowering yourself to make different choices. Approach your relationships as opportunities for self-reflection and growth. See each person in your life as a mirror, reflecting aspects of yourself. Use your interactions as chances to practice love, compassion, and understanding, both for others and for yourself. Engage with the world from a place of creative empowerment. Instead of feeling victimized by world events or social issues, ask yourself, how can I contribute to positive change? Remember that by elevating your own consciousness, you're contributing to the elevation of the collective. Finally, cultivate an attitude of wonder and curiosity towards life. See each experience, whether perceived as positive or negative, as part of your unfolding journey of self-discovery and evolution. Approach life as a cosmic dance, where you're both the dancer and the choreographer. By integrating these practices into your daily life, you begin to live in conscious co-creation with the universe. You move from being a passive reactor to life circumstances to becoming an active participant in the creation of your reality. Remember, this is a lifelong journey. Be patient and compassionate with yourself as you learn to navigate the mirror of reality. Celebrate your growth, learn from your challenges, and always keep your heart open to the infinite possibilities that await you in the reflection of your consciousness.